Listen to me. Life is not easy. Life will test you. Life will push you. Life will try to break you. And in those moments when the pressure is on, when the heat is rising, when everything feels like it's falling apart, that is where you must train your mind to stay calm. Because if you lose your mind, you lose everything. Strength is not only about muscle, it's about control, discipline, power over yourself. Think about it. You can train your body every day in the gym. You can lift the heaviest weight. You can run the fastest mile. But if your mind collapses under pressure, all that strength means nothing. The true champion, the true leader, the true warrior is the one who can stand tall when chaos is all around and still keep a clear head. That's not a gift. That's training. That's repetition. That's discipline. When the world is shouting at you, when people are doubting you, when fear is knocking at your door, you have two choices, panic or focus, and focus is built by practice. You teach your mind every single day to breathe, to think, to decide. Calm is not weakness. Calm is the ultimate strength, because the calm man, the calm woman, they don't react with fear, they respond with strategy. They don't get crushed by pressure, they use pressure as fuel. How do you train it? The same way you train a muscle, repetition, consistency. Every time you face stress, remind yourself, I control this mind does not control me. Every time you feel anger, every time you feel fear, stop and take command. Slow it down, breathe, then act with clarity. Train your mind in the small things. When you're stuck in traffic, when someone insults you, when life gives you obstacles, that's your gym, that's your practice. And if you stay consistent, you'll be unshakable in the big moments when the real storms come. You see, people think success comes from talent, from luck, from connections. No. Success comes from control. Success comes from staying calm when others are breaking. Success comes from seeing clearly when others are blinded by panic. The calm fighter sees the opening. The calm leader sees the solution. The calm mind makes the right decision, no matter how heavy the weight is. So train it every day. Don't wait for the storm to come. Prepare now. Build a mind that is unshakable, unstoppable, unbreakable. Life will test you. Life will challenge you. But if you master your mind, if you stay calm in every situation, you cannot be defeated. Calm is strength, not weakness, and when you truly understand that, you begin to see how much control you actually have over your life. People often mistake calmness for passivity, for softness, for lack of power, but that is because they don't know what it takes to remain calm when life is at its toughest. It doesn't take strength to explode in anger. It doesn't take strength to panic when the world seems against you. It doesn't take strength to lose your composure and throw away your focus. That's easy. Anybody can do that. But to hold yourself steady when everything inside of you is screaming to react, to lash out, to break down, that is real power. That is the kind of power that separates the weak from the strong, the ordinary from the extraordinary. Think about the people you admire, the people who inspire you. Are they the ones who lose control when the pressure is on? Or are they the ones who somehow keep their minds steady, who move forward with clarity, who don't let emotions cloud their decisions? The answer is always the same. The strong are calm. They do not waste their energy on panic or rage. They channel their energy into solutions, into progress, into victory. Calmness is not the absence of emotion. It is the mastery of it. It is the ability to feel the weight of the moment, to feel the fear, the doubt, the stress, and still stand firm, still move forward, still choose the right action. And here is the truth. Calmness does not come by accident. It is not something you are simply born with. It is trained, built, earned through discipline. Just like you train your body to get stronger, just like you train your skills to get sharper, you must train your mind to stay calm under pressure. Every situation in your life is an opportunity to train. When someone cuts you off in traffic, that is training. When someone insults you, that is training. When plans fall apart, that is training. When you feel the urge to snap, to shout, to quit, that is the moment where strength is built. Because every time you choose calm over chaos, every time you hold steady instead of breaking down, you are reinforcing the habit of control. You are teaching your mind that no matter what comes, you are the one in charge. The reason calmness is strength is because it keeps you in control when others are losing it. Imagine two people in the same storm. One is panicking, rushing, making mistakes, consumed by fear. The other is calm, steady, thinking clearly, making smart moves. Who survives? Who wins? Who comes out on top? It's the one who stays calm. Panic clouds judgment. Anger blinds you. Fear paralyzes you. But calm clears your vision. Calm sharpens your focus. Calm gives you the power to act with precision. When others are drowning in chaos, the calm person sees the opportunity, the opening, the path forward. That is why calmness is the ultimate strength. It is the foundation for all other strengths. Understand this. Control over yourself is the greatest control you can ever have. You cannot control the world. You cannot control what people say or do. You cannot control the storms of life, but you can always control your response, and your response is everything. If you respond with anger, you feed the problem. If you respond with fear, you freeze. But if you respond with calmness, you put yourself in a position of power. You refuse to be a victim of circumstance, you become the master of it. You decide how the situation ends, not the situation itself. Calmness is also strength because it gives you endurance. Panic burns energy fast, anger drains you. Stress eats you alive, but calm keeps your energy steady. Calm allows you to last longer, to keep going when others are exhausted, to think clearly when others are breaking down. That is why the strongest leaders, the greatest champions, the most successful people are calm in the face of adversity. They understand that battles are not won by those who lose control, but by those who stay focused until the very end. To train calmness, you must practice awareness. You must recognize your emotions before they take over. The next time you feel that rush of anger or fear, pause, take a breath, remind yourself, calm is strength. Do this over and over, and soon it becomes natural. Soon, no matter what storm comes, you stand steady, unshaken. You become the anchor in the chaos, the one who does not bend, the one who cannot be broken. That is true strength. That is the strength that carries you through every situation in life. Train your mind daily through small challenges so you're ready for the big storms. Because strength is not built in a single day, and calmness is not something that magically appears when life suddenly gets tough. It is the product of repetition, of daily practice, of choosing discipline in the smallest of moments, so that when the biggest test arrives, you are prepared. Too many people wait for life to knock them down before they start thinking about resilience, but by then, it's already too late. You don't wait until you're standing in front of 100-foot wave to learn how to swim. You start in shallow water. You start with strokes that seem simple. You start with consistency until your body knows how to move even when the waves get higher. Your mind is no different. It needs training every single day, not just in moments of crisis. Think about the daily frustrations of life, the traffic jam that tests your patience, the person who cuts in line, the sudden plan that falls apart, the little disappointments that hit you when things don't go your way. Most people treat these as annoyances, as meaningless irritations, but in reality, they are opportunities to train. Every single one of those moments is your mental gym. If you choose to lose your temper, if you choose to complain, if you choose to react with panic or anger, then you are training weakness. You are rehearsing for failure when the bigger storms come. But if you choose to stay calm, if you choose to breathe, if you choose to control your response, then you are training strength. You are rehearsing for victory when life sends its heaviest challenges. It's easy to stay calm when everything is smooth, when everything is under control, when nothing is testing you. But that does not prepare you for reality, because reality will not always be smooth. Reality will put obstacles in front of you. It will pressure you. It will challenge you when you least expect it. That is why the small daily challenges matter so much, because they are your chance to prepare. Each time you choose calmness in a minor frustration, you are programming your mind to handle bigger storms. Each time you hold steady in a small difficulty, you are building a reserve of strength that will be there when life throws something massive at you. Think about athletes. They don't step onto the biggest stage of their career without years of practice. They practice every day, not only in the spotlight, but in the small, repetitive, seemingly boring drills. They practice movements until they become automatic, until their body responds without hesitation. When the pressure is highest, they don't panic because their training takes over. The same is true with your mind. You must practice calmness in the small drills of life so that when the spotlight of crisis shines on you, your mind already knows what to do. Calmness becomes your default, not panic. The reason small challenges are so powerful is because they are frequent. Life gives them to you every single day. You don't need to wait for a tragedy to practice strength. You practice strength when your phone battery dies at the worst time. You practice strength when someone misunderstands you. You practice strength when things don't move according to your timeline. These are not random annoyances, they are training grounds. If you recognize them as training, if you embrace them as opportunities, you will be building yourself piece by piece, layer by layer, until you are unshakable. And make no mistake, the big storms will come. You will face loss. You will face failure. You will face pressure that seems unbearable. You will face nights where you question yourself, mornings where you don't feel like moving, situations where everything seems stacked against you. In those moments, your mind will fall back on its training. If you have spent your days complaining, reacting, losing control, then you will collapse when the big storm comes. But if you have spent your days practicing calmness, choosing discipline, holding steady, then when the storm arrives, you will not panic. You will stand tall because you have trained for this moment every single day. So the real question is not whether storms will come. They will. The question is whether you are training for them right now. Are you treating the small daily challenges as a chance to build yourself, or are you wasting them by reacting with weakness? Every frustration is a test. Every inconvenience is a lesson. Every challenge, no matter how small, is a chance to get stronger. And if you embrace this mindset, if you see every day as training, then you will be prepared for anything life throws at you. Pressure doesn't break you, losing focus does, and that is the truth most people fail to understand. They blame the pressure, they blame the circumstances, they blame the weight of the challenge, but the reality is that pressure itself is neutral. Pressure is simply energy, it is simply intensity, it is simply life demanding more from you than before. What truly breaks people is not the weight of that demand, but their inability to keep their mind centered when the load gets heavy. The mind wanders, panic takes over, fear rushes in, and suddenly the person crumbles not because the pressure was impossible, but because their focus was lost. Focus is everything under pressure. Imagine standing under a heavy barbell, the weight pressing down on your shoulders. If you focus on your breathing, on your stance, on your technique, you can lift it. But the moment your mind drifts to fear, the moment you start thinking about what could go wrong, the moment you lose sight of the task in front of you, that weight becomes impossible. It is not the weight that has changed, it is your focus that has broken. The same applies in life. Challenges will always come, demands will always rise, pressure will always increase as you climb higher. The key to survival and success is not eliminating pressure. It is sharpening focus so deeply that nothing can shake it. When you lose focus, you lose clarity. You stop seeing solutions, you stop noticing opportunities, you stop executing with precision. Under pressure, distractions multiply. Fear distracts you. Doubt distracts you. The opinions of others distract you. And before you know it, you are scattered in 10 directions instead of locked on the one move that matters. This is why so many talented people collapse in critical moments. It is not because they were not capable. It is because their focus was stolen by distractions. They gave their energy to fear instead of giving it to the task. They allowed the noise to drown out the signal. But when you train your focus, you turn pressure into power. Think of a diamond. A diamond is only formed under extreme pressure, but it does not shatter, it transforms. The same pressure that destroys weak material is the pressure that creates something unbreakable. The difference is not the pressure, it is the structure. Your mind is the same. If it is scattered, if it is unfocused, pressure will crush it. But if it is aligned, if it is centered, if it is locked in, pressure will only refine it, sharpen it, and bring out its best. Training focus under pressure begins with the small moments. When you sit down to work, can you stay with the task, or do you let every notification pull you away? When someone criticizes you, do you keep moving toward your goal, or do you waste energy defending yourself? When things get tough, do you keep your eyes on the mission, or do you lose yourself in worry? These small tests decide whether you are preparing for pressure or preparing to collapse. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you are strengthening your mind for the bigger battles. And the truth is, pressure will expose you. It will show you whether your focus is real or fake, whether your discipline is consistent or just temporary. In calm moments, anybody can look strong, anybody can say the right things, anybody can act confident. But when the pressure rises, when the lights are bright, when the stakes are high, the truth comes out. The unfocused scatter, the disciplined rise. That is why champions are champions, not because they feel no pressure, but because they never lose focus no matter how much pressure they face. You must learn to use pressure as a signal to focus even more, not as a reason to lose control. When the pressure comes, tell yourself, this is the moment to lock in. This is the moment to narrow my vision, to block out the noise, to keep my mind on the one thing that matters. Do not fight pressure, embrace it. Let it remind you of your strength. Let it sharpen your concentration. Let it strip away the unnecessary until all that remains is your mission. Pressure is not the enemy, it is the test. The enemy is distraction, the enemy is doubt, the enemy is losing focus in the middle of the storm. When you understand this, pressure becomes fuel. You stop running from it, you stop fearing it, you stop blaming it. Instead, you use it to rise, to grow, to prove yourself. You see it as the opportunity to become more, not the excuse to become less. You realize that the difference between breaking and rising has nothing to do with the pressure itself. It has everything to do with your focus. A calm mind turns chaos into clarity and fear into strategy, and that is one of the most powerful abilities a human being can develop. Chaos is part of life. It surrounds us every single day in different forms, and no matter how much we try to control the world around us, there will always be situations that spiral beyond our control. Chaos can come through unexpected problems, sudden losses, overwhelming responsibilities, or the noise of too many demands all crashing down at once. For most people, chaos breeds panic, confusion, and helplessness. But for the person who has trained their mind to stay calm, chaos is not a threat. It is an opportunity. When the mind is calm, what looks like disorder to everyone else becomes a clear pattern. What looks like a wall to everyone else becomes a doorway. Calmness allows you to see what others cannot see, to think when others have stopped thinking, to move forward when others are frozen in fear. Fear is another constant in life. It doesn't matter how strong you are. Fear will always whisper in your ear when challenges arise. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of loss, fear of the unknown. It takes many forms. The difference between those who crumble and those who rise is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to transform fear into fuel. And that transformation begins with calmness. When the mind is calm, fear loses its grip. Instead of being paralyzed by it, you analyze it. Instead of letting it control you, you study it. Instead of reacting to it, you use it as information to build a strategy. Fear can be a compass pointing you to what matters most, but only if your mind is calm enough to read it. If you let panic take over, fear blinds you. But if you remain calm, fear sharpens you. Clarity under chaos is like light in the darkness. Imagine a room filled with smoke. People rush, stumble, crash into one another, unable to see a path forward. But the person who remains calm, who slows down, who focuses, begins to see outlines, begins to find the exit. The smoke has not cleared, the chaos has not disappeared, but clarity emerges because calmness allows the mind to organize information, to prioritize steps, to ignore the noise and focus on what matters most. This is why calm leaders are effective leaders. In times of crisis, people don't need someone who adds to the panic. They need someone who sees clearly, who thinks rationally, who can guide others out of the smoke. That clarity doesn't come from talent or luck. It comes from training the mind to stay calm in every situation. Turning fear into strategy requires discipline. When fear strikes, the natural impulse is to retreat, to freeze, or to lash out. But if you can pause and hold your mind steady, fear becomes data. Ask yourself, what is this fear teaching me? What is it warning me about? What steps can I take to reduce the risk? A calm mind does not deny fear, it uses fear. Fear might reveal a weakness you need to strengthen, a skill you need to learn, a danger you need to prepare for. By staying calm, you can turn that fear into a plan. Instead of saying, I'm afraid, therefore I quit, you say, I'm afraid, therefore I prepare. Fear becomes a signal for action, not a reason for paralysis. Chaos into clarity and fear into strategy. This is the foundation of resilience, because life will never hand you perfect conditions. Life will never remove chaos. Life will never erase fear. If you wait for peace and safety before you move, you will never move. You cannot wait for the world to calm down. You must calm yourself. You cannot wait for fear to disappear. You must learn to carry it. The person who can remain calm when others are in chaos, who can create strategy when others are stuck in fear, is the one who moves ahead while the rest stand still. Calmness is not about ignoring reality. It is about facing it with strength. It is about keeping your mind steady enough to see clearly, to think deeply, to act wisely. It is about slowing down internally even when the external world is spinning fast. When you learn to master this, you stop being controlled by circumstances and you start controlling your response to them. You stop reacting blindly and you start responding intelligently. You stop being tossed around by chaos and fear, and you start using them as raw material for growth, for direction, for strategy. This is the mindset that separates those who are consumed by life from those who master it. Consistency in mental discipline makes you unshakable and unstoppable, because strength is not about what you can do once. It is about what you can do over and over again until it becomes second nature. Anybody can stay calm for a moment. Anybody can hold discipline for a day. Anybody can focus when life feels manageable. But true mastery comes when you repeat that discipline day after day, no matter what is happening around you. Consistency is the foundation that turns mental training into permanent character. Without it, you are fragile, easily broken by circumstances. With it, you are solid, unmovable, able to face storm after storm without losing yourself. Mental discipline is like a muscle. If you train it once and then neglect it, it weakens. If you train it only when you feel like it, the results are inconsistent. But if you train it daily, if you push it regularly, it grows strong and reliable. Think about the soldier who drills the same movements again and again until they become automatic. Think about the athlete who practices the same routine until it becomes instinct. The repetition is what makes them dependable under pressure. The same is true for your mind. When you consistently choose focus over distraction, calmness over panic, patience over frustration, you build a foundation so strong that nothing can shake it. The reason consistency is so important is because life will test you at unexpected times. You cannot predict when the storm will hit. You cannot predict when the challenge will arrive. You cannot predict when the pressure will rise. If you are only disciplined sometimes, then when life comes at you suddenly, you will be caught unprepared. But if you are disciplined all the time, if you have built habits through consistency, then your response is automatic. You don't need to scramble for strength. It is already there. You don't need to search for calm. It is already part of who you are. Consistency ensures that your discipline is not temporary but permanent, not conditional but unshakable. Consistency also builds confidence. Every time you follow through on your discipline, you send a message to yourself. I can trust me. I can rely on me. I can count on me to hold steady no matter what. That trust in yourself is priceless. It makes you unstoppable because you no longer doubt your ability to handle situations. You have proof, built from countless repetitions, that you can remain strong. Without consistency, you never build that trust. You may succeed once but fail the next time, and the inconsistency plants doubt in your mind. But with consistency, the doubt disappears, and in its place grows a quiet, unshakable confidence that nothing outside of you can destroy. The challenge is that consistency is not exciting, it is not glamorous, it is not dramatic. It is often boring, repetitive, and thankless. That is why so many people struggle with it. They want instant results, they want quick victories, they want discipline without the daily grind. But the truth is, greatness is not built in a single moment. It is built in small, repeated moments over and over again. Calmness under pressure does not appear overnight. It is built from thousands of small acts of control. Focus in the storm does not happen suddenly. It is built from countless moments of concentration. Mental strength is not an event, it is a habit, and habits are created through consistency. The strongest people you know are not strong because of one act of discipline. They are strong because they practiced discipline every single day until it became who they are. They faced small frustrations and chose patience. They faced small fears and chose courage. They faced small doubts and chose focus. Over time, those choices stacked together, creating a mind that is unshakable. Consistency is what transforms small victories into unstoppable strength. Think about a river cutting through rock. It is not the force of one single wave that shapes the stone. It is the consistency of water flowing day after day, year after year, that carves even the hardest surface. Your mind is the same. One moment of discipline will not change it, but consistent discipline will shape it into something powerful, unbreakable, unstoppable. Consistency is the force that turns effort into transformation. When you commit to consistency, you stop depending on motivation, which comes and goes. You stop waiting for the perfect mood or the perfect conditions. You show up regardless. You practice regardless. You train regardless. That is the secret. Motivation is unreliable, but consistency is unshakable. And when your discipline is unshakable, you are unstoppable. You no longer ask whether you can handle the challenge. You simply handle it because your training has made you ready. You no longer fear whether you will break. You know you will not, because consistency has made you solid. Consistency in mental discipline is what separates those who talk about strength from those who live it every single day.